We have now the experience. We know that the privacy is objectively in danger.
So Claude, can we start off by talking about the situation with the cross-border disclosure of personal data, please?
Yeah, sure, Jessica. Swiss Federal Data Protection Act has designed to protect privacy of the people towards other people and towards government bodies as well. We have some very important principles over there, like the right to access to your own data, for example, and as well the respect of the initial purpose of the data collecting. But if you use a social network, for example, or a cloud computing solution with a data storage out of Switzerland, so in another country, you have no idea about the legal system over there. And that's a problem because you have no idea if your privacy is respected or not. That's the reason why we have a list with countries, like European countries, where the legal system provides protection which is adequate and other not. France, Great Britain are okay. China, Zimbabwe are not okay. So that's the way more or less it works.
And you've mentioned some of the different countries there. So the USA has a special framework called Safe Harbour. Can you explain to us a little bit about what that is?
Yes, that's correct. There are several safe harbor. There is a safe harbor between Europe and USA. We come back on that point a bit later probably. There is another one between Switzerland and USA as well. Why? Because we consider that USA legal system does not guarantee an adequate protection. Why? Because authorities over there can access to personal data without a judge control properly. That's a problem for us here in Europe and in Switzerland. That's the reason why European countries and Switzerland had to find a framework. We can say, okay, American companies can make business here in Europe and Switzerland with personal data, and companies can register on the list at the US Department of Commerce, commit to comply with our principles, and then that's not a problem anymore to export data over there to US. That's more or less how it works. Yeah.
And the European Court of Justice called safe harbouring invalid. So what's your take on this?
Yes, actually in October 2015, the European Court of Justice has decided to say, well, that agreements of safe harbor, talking about between Europe and USA, is not valid. Why? Because authorities over there in America have the possibility to force the access, and people who are the owner of the personal data have almost no legal protection against that. And that's, of course, a breach of our legal system here in Europe and in Switzerland. And why is Switzerland concerned about that? That's because both frameworks are very, very similar. Very similar, firstly. Secondly, we have now the experience. We know that the privacy is objectively in danger. We see it in the motivation of the European Court of Justice, because they talk about the massive surveillance revealed by the Edward Snowden affair. And thirdly, we have to align ourselves with the European system to avoid that American companies, which are active in Europe, bypass the European regulation through Switzerland to export data to USA. So that's the reason why we are really concerned about that, yeah.
Absolutely. And where can people go from here?
At the moment, the situation is quite unclear legally. A month ago, European countries agreed with USA about a new framework called Privacy Shield. So that's a new safe harbor. And USA has promised to build new safeguards in that framework, like limitation of massive surveillance, like an ombudsman, like appeal possibilities. At the moment, that's more a political issue. That's something else. It means that's too early to say that it's going to be a good agreement or not. That's not enough concrete at the moment. For sure, from here in Switzerland, we will observe that. We will wait until a new agreement is done between Europe and America. And when it's done, we will sign directly with America a very, very similar one. It's funny because at the moment, because we have that experience with USA, you won't find plenty of people who really, really believe in a real change, thank Privacy Shield, but let's see. Yeah.
Great. Well, Claude, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you, Jessica.
Well, that's all from myself and Claude, but for all the latest Dukascopy updates and exclusive market moves, do keep clicking back. Goodbye for now.